Hey, what's up guys, Tommy here, back again with another video. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to program your Savaton controller using the mqcon app. It was brought to my attention, when I was doing research on this, that most of the videos on this are pretty bad. And it took me a while to actually, learn how to use the app and run my Hall sensor test. So that's why I'm going to go over the setup, what you need to do to connect to the app, how to run the Hall sensor test, and how to program your controller so you can get the bike running how you'd like to. So without further ado, make sure to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. Let's get right into it. All right, so what you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that you have the mqcon app downloaded from the App Store. Once you've got that done, you're going to want to find this connector, which sort of comes from the connector which leads to the display, and you're going to want to unplug it. Once you have that unplugged, you're going to want to make sure you have your bike turned on, and you also want to make sure that you have your Bluetooth plugged into your controller. Alright, so I'm going to go back to me. Alright, so now that we've done that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to open the mqcon app, and you're going to come to the screen with an orange button that says not connected. You're going to want to go ahead and press on that, and as long as you have your bike turned on with the Bluetooth plugged in and that little plug I told you to unplug unplugged, then it should come up with this select a Bluetooth device screen, and you're going to want to press on mqcon e-motor, or depending on the brand that you have, it might be a bit different, but that should be obvious. Press on these two arrows at the bottom, and it's going to bring you to your parameters. Now keep in mind, it may not say regeneration for you. I'll tell you why it says that for me in a second. So it'll show you battery voltage, Hall value, throttle voltage, motor temperature, all of this stuff. And if you don't unplug that plug going to the LCD display, what it's going to say is it's all going to be zeros. So make sure you do that. That's important. So we're going to want to go ahead and run our Hall sensor test first, because you can't do anything with the bike unless you do that. Unless you want to destroy your controller or motor. So to run this is really easy. It takes, about a minute. You're going to want to press on given current and turn that to 10. And if it doesn't work, maybe do 20 or 30, but I don't know, 10 works for me. For run mode, you're going to want to turn it to test mode, and then you see right here on Hall test, right below that, there's a switch, and when you turn that on, your Hall sensor test will begin to run. So what you want to do for the Hall sensor test is you want to have your motor elevated above the ground. If you don't have it elevated, it's not going to do anything. The Hall sensor test can only be completed when the motor is elevated and free spinning above the ground. So make sure that you're holding it up and doing that when you run your Hall sensor test. So yeah, once you've done that, you're going to want to turn to normal operation and then press OK. And by the way, for the Hall sensor test, a lot of people like to build, wood things that will hold their motor so they can do that. Personally, I didn't do that. I just put my bike on a crate and, held onto the bike so that the motor would spin freely. You can do that as well if that works. So what you're going to do, go back to this screen just by pressing that arrow in the top left corner. And then you're going to want to press on this gear right here. This is going to bring you to all of your parameter settings. So I'm going to quickly go through these here, and I'm just going to show you guys what I have all of mine set to. My controller is a Savaton 72-150 amp controller, and I have a QS273 motor. So these are the settings I have for my specific bike. So yeah, and I don't know what everything does here. Just I know it works for me. So for lack voltage, that's essentially what your battery is going to discharge to. You don't want this to be too low or you'll damage your battery. So I turn this to 65 to keep my battery nice and safe. I have a 72 volt battery. Current limiting voltage, you should turn that to the same. Over voltage, 95. And then for the you have DC current amps, boost current amps, and all these amp settings. I've just left these how it were when the app, when I first connected to the app. I have no need to change those personally. Here's your temperature settings. I believe this is so you can limit the temperature that your controller and motor can get to, but I haven't touched those yet. and now you have function. This is e-braking and regen and speed and everything. So I have my e-brakes on and working. I have my e-brake current set to 40, which is a good current. I have speed put to boost. Flux weakening is enabled. I have regen enabled, and the regen current is set to 35. You also have an anti-theft thing here, but I never got that to work. If you know how to, then go ahead and turn that on. Throttle voltage. Now, if your throttle is not working very well for you, of course you can tinker around with this, but my throttle is actually working very well for me, so I haven't messed with that. And for motor, you have the motor direction, and let me go and connect the bike again, because it turns off. So back to here, motor direction 1, that's going to be forward, 0 is backwards, just leave that to 1. Speed limit mode, I have mine at no limit, but you can turn it to an internal limit, and say you want to set it to 90, you can do that. You have low speed limit and mid speed limit, so if your bike has gears, which it probably does, mine does 1 to 5, low speed limit would be gear 1 to 2. Mid speed would be 2 to 5. So this essentially, lets you control, how much power you want with certain gears, and I'm pretty sure that's what that does. So yeah, and to save all that, you just press on the arrow going back. So that's everything I know about this. If you follow my directions, you should get your bike running and working, well, how you want it. So if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a nice comment. See you in the next one. Bye.